Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more of the meta. So I wanted to show you a situation where I had the wrong playbook. I've been running with the spread alternate playbook, and this is a brand new season for regs. And when I got into the playbook, I got stuck with the team I was using, which was the Houston Texans. And I had to go ahead and dig deep into some of the schemes I've used before in the past, and it was a real struggle. This guy was a ball control type person, liked to use a lot of ball control as far as his offense is concerned. Right here, I'm actually realizing I don't have my plays. This is like how the game started out, and I'm just like, oh crap, this is nothing that I'm used to doing. So I switched over to this formation, which is the tight way off. And I started seeing some plays that I've used in previous schemes. In particular, this particular play right here, which is the choice pivot return. This is a really good play against man coverages and stuff like that. It's got some pretty good, good route combinations that you can use. And I was like, okay, I can build something around this. I just have to remember off the top of my head like how I ran this scheme. And one of the things I saw right away was basically the 0-1 trap. I'm like, okay, I can build off of that and kind of go from there. I did expand on this particular formation based on some of the stuff. This is a Green Bay Packers playbook that I've got a scheme built out last year that I had really good success with. But there are some plays that I just didn't have. Here's the challenge with this guy's defense. He's got a star player right here on the defensive line. So the 0-1 trap with basically a weak guard would get bottled up. So I really couldn't use the 0-1 trap against this guy. I think I sprinkled it in a couple different times with this particular play. The go play I don't really care for too much. I decided, I think what I did is I put in a mesh. I do like the red zone scissors. There's a way I set that up to attack my opponent, but I wanted to get mesh spot in. You'll see me coming back to that. Another play I like to use is this choice pivot return. In this scheme, this is good against people that like to use like man blitzes and stuff like that. I can light people up for touchdowns with this rear play. So tight end corner is something I took out of this scheme when I was playing against this guy, but I actually will throw it into another gameplay because it was kind of stuck behind the 8-ball. But he's actually, I guess he was making an adjustment on Armstrong, and I was able to go ahead and get the ball down into a 3rd and 1. Just with a simple play, and he was using cover 6. I think this guy jumped around in defenses. I don't remember exactly right now, but I think he was just jumping into all different types of defenses, and offensively he was the same way. He was just running around in different types of he didn't have a specific scheme that he was using. He was just trying to do a bunch of different plays, but his running game was very difficult for him to stop, and I've actually posted that already on the channel. So anytime you see these mug plays, a lot of times you can just do a simple inside zone and you're going to get a hat on a hat. So this is I see this type of a play. I'm always going to go ahead and do basically a mug play. If I would have went off that guard, I probably would have picked up some more yards. But when I see mug, I'm going to essentially go ahead and light my opponent up. One other adjustment I should have done, you can see I actually drag this guy up. I've got a corner out. What I should have been doing with this guy is streaking this guy up. The reason I did leave this option route out there is because if it was man coverage, this route would be open for a potential touchdown. But he actually is dropping coverage. I'm just going to check it down, and I get hits and then tackled for a couple lost gainer right there because he jumps into cover 2 invert hard flats. So this guy was just jumping around all over the place. So now I took a peek at some other formations. The tight Y off a weak. We'll come back to that. This flex Y off close. This is a formation. I don't know any of these plays. I've never ran them before. So, conceptually I know some of them. I got an off tackle. I think I was looking at this RPO outs play. I might have jumped into that. RPO read outs to try to hit this guy with some type of a run. I think we're going to come back to that particular play right there. So it was just something that kind of caught my attention. And you could see, once again, he's actually in this double A gap. This guy should come down to the get. No, he's actually in a cub to defense. So he's got, this really aggressive area right here, but there's really nobody in this area to play this guy. So all I'm really doing is reading this guy. If this guy comes in blitzes, I'm going to throw this right away. If he falls back into coverage, I'm going to run the ball. This is a simple concept that we're looking at. I'm just looking to triangle only and make my decision right there. The guy comes down, I'm popping this little hitch route. I'm going to get a first down, and you can see right here I actually get a good animation. He missed tackles me, and I'm able to go ahead and get the ball down to the 25-yard line. So he jumped into a nickel blitz 3. Right now, I think I'm going to come back to. I'm still exploring the playbooks. I like the spot middle. The Y under is a play that I actually switch out for this play, which is the bench hammer. You're going to see me come back to this particular play. It's a very simple levels concept. I've got a clear out and a corner route that I can use against my opponent. So let's see if I set this up correctly. I'm looking for bunch hammer. That's the one play that I'm jumping into. And right here I've got the route right here. He bunches this line up, and this is where I set this particular play up. It's basically I'm looking for this route right here by the running back. I've got a flat concept, and then I've got a post over the middle. Now usually what I do is I'll actually go ahead and set this up where the wide receiver is actually going to be on outs. I'm going to streak up the tight end, and then I've got this angle route right here because it gives me a faster read. But my job right now is actually to see if I can pop this guy down the seam with this quick snap play. I go and hit it, but he knocks the ball out with my wide receiver, and he's running either cover 6 or cover 9. I didn't see the actual play. So that was actually, it was an opportunity for a completion. I just didn't come down with it. I should have threw it a little bit earlier. So he bunches up his line again, and let's see if we go ahead and jump into the hammer play. This is what I like to do with hammer. I'm streaking this guy up. I've got a drag route right here. I've got a deep dig, and then there's a corner route on the back side. My first read is going to be this guy right here. This is going to be my 1, and then I'm looking for this drag route as my 2, and then I'm going to look at the deep corners of 3. I typically don't look to this corner route on the back side. This is basically a play that I typically don't look to in my progressions. But I'm looking at the streak first right away, and you can see the guy actually carries. That's going to open up this area underneath. And what I love about this play is that if a guy is a very heavy aggressive blitzer, you can actually go and hit that. So I got rid of the ball a little bit too early, and as a result, he's able to go ahead and hit me. So I'm a 3rd and 10 situation. I decide to go ahead and hit this guy just with an inside zone, just to see if I can get some pretty good blocking. You can see it's right there. All I have to do is just get to the outside, and I should be able to go and pick up a first down, but I just didn't get wide enough, and he's able to go and tackle me with Wagner. And I actually settled for 3 points. I just came off of a turnover against this guy, so anytime you get an opportunity to score points, instead of risking it on a 4th and 5, I would rather go and take points and really put the pressure on the guy. So I just took the points, and also I switched over to the new version of the kickoff feature, or the kicks. So I have to practice that in game 2 because there's going to be situations where I'm going to need it. Right here, I'm seeing man coverage. I've got a table route on the backside or just an out route. I go and hit that and actually get a completion. 2nd and 5. Got 30 seconds left. I got I've got 2 of my timeouts. I'm trying to get some additional points on the board, see if I can get into the field goal before we go into the second half. So right here, he's showing me man coverage. You can see this guy's leveraged down. He's leveraged down. He's leveraged down. 2 high safety type situation. So what I did is I want to go ahead and use this angle route is a check down, but I also want to complement this particular concept with a deep comeback route. So I was struggling to go ahead and set this up. So I set this up once again. Let's see if I get the deep comeback route set up. There it is. So really I'm just looking. These are my reads, 1 and 2. I'm just looking for whoever's got the best leverage, and that's who I want to go for. So he comes off the edge with his defensive tackle. I probably could have through the running back route, but I choose to do the deep comeback route and just kind of rack that thing out of bounds because I want to be able to basically stop the clock. I don't want to burn a timeout in the middle of the field. So now this is where I get cute. I've got a mesh concept right here, and I got another crossing concept. I've got an in route, and I've got this out route right here, and this route's clearing out for me. Now, I came into this anticipating I can hit this deep out with the tight end because I've basically been going to this side of the field, and I wanted to try to get this guy on the other side of the field so he couldn't start rolling or protecting against this. And I overthought this, but I also misread the coverage. You can see how this guy's actually shaded on the outside. This guy's kind of lined up. This is not the right coverage. This is not man coverage, and I misread it. especially with this guy just kind of sitting here, sitting low. This is where I really made a huge mistake on this here play. If it's man coverage, the guy should follow Diggs. And look how this guy just kind of releases and goes out. Diggs is wide open. He's pressuring me up the middle of the field, so this guy's a defensive tackle guy. He's not really that great. But right here, I saw this guy open, but I didn't see this guy fall back, and I misread it. And as I was getting rid of the ball, I was like, oh, crap. That was a huge mistake. And as a result, I threw an interception. I just misread it. The guy, I thought it was man coverage, and I completely misread it because this guy really, he didn't have a really great defensive scheme. So second half right here, my responsibility is just to go ahead and score, get back into this game. I go into I form, and this is just a simple concept. Basically, it's you've got your play action to the flat, you've got this deep crosser that you can hit, and this guy's just clearing things out. Really, all I'm doing is looking 1 and 2. That's the shot play, is just not there. You just want to go ahead and take a look at that. I've got leverage with the running back, but I can go ahead and try to throw it to the crosser on the backside. But my preference is to try to go ahead and hit the underneath as much as possible. That way his user actually comes down if he's playing middle linebacker and stuff like that. So if I can get a flat route and pick up 20 yards, I will take that all day of the week. Punches up his line once again. I was going to try to hit this guy with an 0-1 trap. So now what I do is go ahead and run this figure play. I didn't set this up correctly, but you can see I actually dropped it down to the opposite side with that choice pivot play. Right here, take a look at the alignment of his defenders. Okay, so similar situation. These guys line up straight on with my guys. This means it's some type of a hot blitz. Anytime you got your guys lined up perfectly over and you got a guy that's not really disguising his coverages, that's when you expect a hot blitz. So this is how I run this choice pivot play. It's for people that do man blitzes, because what's going to happen is I take this route, I put him on a drag, and this route against man coverage is always going to go inside. If these guys are playing man coverage, they're going to get themselves out, and I should have an opening right here where I can take off and get into the end zone. So that's what I see. This is how I use a choice pivot in my scheme. And let's go ahead and watch this. You can see how these guys come down. I've got a hole player right here. And watch what happens. This guy actually clears out. He's got 94 speed, which is Collins. And I'm able to go ahead and ice this guy and actually get into the end zone for a touchdown. So up basically 10-9 against my opponent. I'm still looking through the playbook. I'm trying to find old schemes. I used to run this scheme, which was the wing offset. They've got some unique plays in here now that haven't been in there before. But I'm trying to go back to stuff that I know. Mesh concept, basically, using the halfback punch. Problem with this guy's defense is that he's got a star player right here who's going to manhandle my guard. So even if I have this guy come over and pull it and trap him, he's still going to get manhandled by that guard. So that was one of the challenges with this. So I go into basically an RPO, reading this guy, seeing if he carries. If he carries, I'm going to go ahead and take the ball and run off. But he bunches his line up to the inside, and I try to go wide just to get some better leverage against this defender, but you can see that one guy just came down and bites. So that was just a big bust for a run against him. Right here, once again, same formation. He kind of closes things up a little bit. I go into basically mesh concept, and I've got these guys falling down in flats, and I just want to look for this guy right over the middle of the field. The wheel route is another area that you want to go ahead and throw to right away, but this is what's cool about this here play. I'm going to go ahead and drop it down to Collins and pick up 7 yards in the same play. So going to go back to this gut play, but he's got a really heavy box. Look, he's got like 7 people in the box. I'm not going to be able to hit that. So now I go ahead and jump into let's see here. I go into a different version of mesh, same as before, but really what I'm looking for is this route right here, and then I've got this dragging route on the back side. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm going to try to throw the ball early. I'm going to tell you, I got away with one. This guy is flat-footed. He's actually looking towards the running back. I think I was throwing the ball right away. He's got a spy in the middle of the field. and I threw the ball, and I was able to come back for it and actually go ahead and fall into the end zone. That was a bad read. That was not a good decision. I should have waited for the drag to get across the formation, but I actually threw it anyways. I was able to go ahead and get the ball into the end zone against this guy. So I able to go ahead and milk the clock out against this guy. It was basically 17-15. Just chew the clock down, but I got to win. I just wanted to kind of share with you, like, even if you get in a situation where you have the wrong playbook, if you have prior skills and formations that you've used, you can do this. I'm going to expand on this Texans playbook on how I run it. There's basically the tight Y off gun formation is I had a full scheme built out of the Green Bay Packers playbook. So you're going to see me in game 2 using this as a more efficient scheme against somebody that was using a lot of aggressive odd blitzes against me and dollar defenses. So if you do guys like these type